Tangle art, a creativity practice for ordinary time. We just finished a week of camp, so I was thinking about a creativity practice that would bring me to a place of centeredness and stillness after a very hectic week. And I wanted it to be something fairly simple. So what we are doing today is something that I'm hoping that everyone will find very accessible and pretty much you can do anywhere. So as we get into this a little bit, we welcome your comments and your questions. We would love to hear from you. We look at this as a conversation, not as a presentation. Once we get started, you're going to need just a very few supplies. So first of all, you're going to want a book of Psalm, particularly Psalm 37, some sketch paper, and some black marker. One black marker will do fine. Something that you can do if you want to is add different widths of black markers, up to you. So let's begin by getting ourselves centered. If you'll get in a place in your chair where you're feeling balanced, it helps me to have my feet, both feet on the floor, and then I am both comfortable, but I'm also alert. Now we're going to work on our breathing. So it helps me to cast my eyes down. You can even close them for a bit if you would like. And we're going to move our breathing from high up here in the chest, which is where we breathe when we are anxious and really busy, down to our lower abdomen, where our belt buckle would be. And we're going to slow and deepen our breathing. Let's do that for a bit. I'm feeling better already. Now we're going to move our attention to our passage of Scripture. And we're going to read it 3 times. So the first time we're going to read Psalm 37 in its entirety. So we have a sense of the psalmist's overall, the meaning of the psalm and what the psalmist is trying to say, and just taste that language. You can read it out loud if you would like to. So take some time with that. It's a bit of a long psalm, so it's going to take you a few moments. And once you have done that, let's bring our focus in to just a few verses, specifically verses 5 through 7. And focus on that. Notice if there are any words or phrases that seem to be highlighted for you at this moment, your ordinary life, as you're living your faith. You might even want to take a highlighter out and highlight those. You can see that I've done that some with mine. Sit with those words for a bit. Let them speak to you. And then let's read that piece one more time, and this time visualize a space that feels to you like stillness and centeredness. It may be a place that you've gone to somewhere. It could simply be a space in your home. Maybe it's out walking in nature. And just put yourself there as you read verses 5 through 7 one more time. And if writing is an important way for you to express your soul, after you've done that, that might lead to a poem or a journal piece, whatever you want to talk about what stillness is for you. So after you've sat with that and let it be good food for you, we're going to then move to our practice. So like I said, you're going to want some paper, and I have some sketch paper here. Anything that's unlined paper is going to do just fine for this particular practice. So it could be copy paper. You're going to begin simply by making a frame around your paper with the black pen. Now, this practice is about just letting things go as they go. So don't worry about this being perfect. It's just going to be whatever it is, and in its own way, it will be beautiful. So I'm just making my frame here. I think it's so interesting that this art form called Tangle art is what helps me feel less tangled. After you've done that, you're going to now divide it into at least 6 sections. And they're just going to be kind of organic forms, whatever you want them to be. I like this look here. So there I have mine. Now our next step is we're just going to begin doing patterns in each of the sections that we've created. And you don't have to sit around and think, oh, what am I going to do? Just let your pencil begin to do things. I mean your pen. So I'm just thinking some lines here. And as you can see, I'm not worrying about these lines being perfectly straight. I'm just letting them tell me where they want to be. Tangle art has been akin, some people have talked about it as doodling. It's not really doodling because you have some basic guidelines that you follow when you're doing Tangle art. And you know what? I'm thinking I'm going to do a little something more with this. So I'm going to come across this way too. If there ever was an art form that's about going with the flow, this one is it. With the flow of your ink across the paper. And there's something satisfying about feeling that scratching as it moves across and seeing the ink flow onto the page. And then I'm gonna take my smaller one here and I'm just gonna put a little dot in each of these sections. So you can get as intricate in each section as you would like to do, or it can be fairly simple. It is completely up to you. It is whatever your soul is needing to find a place of centeredness and peace. And in this sense, by peace we mean wholeness, where it is okay for us to be who we are and that be enough. We're not needing to prove ourselves to anyone. We are beloved just as we are. And I'm keeping my breathing slow and deep as I go through this, because my focus is not on a finished product, it is on the process and being present to what I'm doing. I think that's all in that section. All right, and now I think I'm going to just move down here and do something a little different. Work with some circles here. And as you can see, this really is something very transportable. You could take this with you just about anywhere. So, I don't know, these are kind of feeling like these are just going to dance around now here. I feel, maybe some upside down. They feel very merry to me, these shapes. Oops. Oh, so we're going to go with that one then. We're going to have some different shapes. I'm going to do a couple more with that different way of doing that. Yeah, maybe down here. And I'll do this one more little section. I'm sure that you have the idea by now. So I'm just going to start doing some wavy lines and see where those might lead. And you can always go back into these if you get another idea once you've finished a section, and just do something else with it if you want. Very much like faith, it's an ongoing process. And I think I'm going to every other one put some of these lines in. And I have heard people say things like, I'm not creative. And when people say that to me, I tell them they're not going to convince me of that, because we are the children of a creator and it's in our DNA. So it's just a matter of finding the creative expression that speaks to your soul and allows your soul to speak its truth. So the more you try different things, the more ways you're going to find to express your soul. And this one is a very accessible one. So I will in time do these others. I brought one that I had finished to share with you. So here's this one. There's mine in process. And then if you want to, I took it a step further for something I was doing during the Advent season, and I did a Tangle art grid in each little tiny Tangle art grids, separate ones, and then made them into the letters for the word joy. So once you kind of get the hang of it and what you're doing, then you can adapt it any way you would like. So that is today's practice. I hope you found it helpful. I would love for you to send some photos of some Tangle art that you have done. If you have found it helpful, would you please like this for us on Facebook? You can go to our website, www.aspaciousplace.com. Sign up for our newsletter and you can find out other things that we are offering. Also, we'll be posting this on Facebook, on YouTube, and on our site. Just as soon as we can get that up. There's a lot with camp right now, so it may be a little bit longer than per usual. And then also we're going to be back again for another creativity practice on August the 26th. So I hope that you will join us for that. Let's close in prayer. And this morning during worship we sang a hymn by a man who had every reason to feel that there was tumult for him. He had had some serious tragedy in his life. And he was out on a boat and paused to write this particular hymn that I think you'll find one that you may know. And I'm going to read the first stanza as our closing prayer. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.